All right, let's talk about the show called The Chestnut Man. It's 6 episodes, 57 minutes apiece, so let's cover episode 1. So they start off with the scene back in like 1987. We got this cop. His name was Marine, and he's supposed to be going to this next door neighbor house or whatever like that. Apparently, some cows got out, and he's going around. He's looking for this guy by the name of Rum. So I guess he's the guy that owns the place or whatever like that. So when he goes around the side of the house, he sees this pig slaughtered. Then he goes inside the house and sees 2 other people that in the kitchen and in the living room, both laying there dead. He goes upstairs and sees another girl dead in the bathtub, all bled out. Then he checks on this other little boy that's in the bathroom. They find out he's still breathing, so he's like semi-alive. And at this point, he's still looking for this dude named Rum. So he goes down to the basement where this area is supposed to be locked off. And it's pretty dark down there, but on the side, he sees all these like chestnut man figures. Then he looks under this table and he sees this little girl by the name of Astrid. And she's just sitting there. She's not coming out from under the table. He's like, look, I'm going to try to help you out. Everything's going to go down. And the next thing you know, he turns around and gets kicked in his face. Now, who did it? Maybe it was Rum. Who knows? Next thing we know, we go to present day. You got this lady by the name of Lynn and this dude named Sebastian. They smashing, getting it popping. But then afterwards, she tells him to leave because apparently she doesn't want him to know about his daughter or whatever like that. Now, she's got a daughter by the name of Lily, but she's not stupid. She knows about Sebastian. She takes her to school the next day and now she's ready to go to work. Now, we found out she actually works for homicide detection. And apparently at this point, she was trying to switch careers and work in cybercrime. Her boss is like, cybercrime? You fucking serious? Like, look, take this case real quick. And also, she's got to work with some new dude, a guy by the name of Mark, who also used to work for the Investigations Bureau. Then we get a scene with this lady by the name of Rosa. Rosa's married to this guy named Steen, and they also got a son by the name of Gus. They had a 12-year-old daughter by the name of Christine, but apparently she was killed last year. Now, the guy they think was responsible is some dude by the name of Lou Becker, who they did catch her, and he's basically rotting in jail. So Steen gives her a pep talk before she officially has to go to work or whatever like that. So she hasn't been to work in like a year, and now she's ready to meet with the prime minister. Now, when she gets in her office, her secretary's been prepping everything up, saying emails and stuff like that, but she had this one particular email that she didn't check. She tells her somebody sent her a threatening letter, but she's not, she's used to the threatening letters or whatever. But the thing is, this letter also had pictures of Christine in it. Now, the thing that's baffling is these pictures came off of Instagram, but the thing is, their parents shut that on Instagram like months ago. Now, she's thinking to herself, who's this person? How the fuck they get these pictures? So then we get back to Lynn and Mark, and they about to go do this investigation. Apparently, they gotta go look up this girl by the name of Laura. They end up finding Laura dead in the forest. Now, here's the thing. Her arm was cut off. They didn't really find the murder weapon yet, but what they find next to her is a Chestnut Man statue. Now, keep in mind, this is current day. An incident that happened with the police officer happened back in 1987. So is there a copycat Chestnut Man out there? Like, what's going on? So when they're driving, we find out, like, why is Mark in the homicide investigation to begin with. Apparently, he left the other job or something like that. He's been gone from there for like 5 years. And he's basically trying to sell the flat that he's living in or whatever like that. But the question is, why would police even bring him into the bureau? So they get to the house and they finally talk to Laura's ex-fiance. Now, he said something about he seen her alive yesterday morning. But the thing was, he thought she was somewhere else, and they found her in the woods, and he was like, what? Apparently, the locks were changed on the shed, but the thing is, he didn't know about it, supposedly. So the thing is, they're kind of suspected as their fiance, but he doesn't have an alibi. They don't have no proof. So after they go through forensics, they really didn't find the murder weapon, but they were examining the Chestnut Man. It turns out Christine's fingerprints are on the Chestnut Man. We're like, how the fuck is that possible? So Lynn doesn't believe they have anything to do with it, but bottom line is she's trying to find a way to check the heartstrings. But she talks to the superior. Superior's like, nah, man, they dealt with enough, man. You can't talk to them. Talk to the guy, the ex-fiance and shit. But going against her boss's orders, she checks the heartstrings. Now, she talks to Steen about her daughter's fingerprints being on a Chestnut Man. Now, before he can make any insinuations, Rosa comes out the back and explains that her daughter used to actually sell these Chestnut Men to people. They don't remember the customers. It could have been anybody who was buying these. So apparently after they left, Steen called the authorities. She got an earful from her boss and shit. So at this point, she ends up going back home and she sees Sebastian in the hallway. Like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be meeting up and stuff. He brings like flowers and ice cream and shit. So apparently when Lily got out of school, her grandfather usually watches after her. And then later on, all 3 of them end up having dinner. So her daughter Lily goes to her room. She says she has a surprise to Sebastian. And she comes out with all these like chestnut pieces. We're like, what the fuck? So then Lynn apparently has a revelation about something. And she tells him like she'll be right back. Now Mark at this time goes back to his flat. He's like painting over the surface or whatever like that. Then he reads this newspaper article. And the article has something about Christine saying the body was never found. But then it said dismemberment and stuff like that. And I'm like, so was the body even found? Then I'm thinking to myself, why does he have this article if this took place a year ago? Like he's just keeping around newspapers? So apparently after that, Mark went to this hospital, and this is the whole reason why Lynn left the house, to meet up with Mark. And they ended up talking to this boy by the name of Magnus. Now, what does he have to do with this? Apparently, he was involved in one of the cases, not exactly sure how. But they ended up showing him a couple of pictures to make sure he could see if anything was odd about him or whatever. So he gets to the 4th picture, and he points out something in the picture, and he sees the Chestnut Man just sitting there. The figurine. So what exactly does all this mean when it comes to Magnus? I'm not exactly sure. So it gets to this point where they're about to leave the hospital. Then we get this random scene with this lady waving to her daughter. She's doing some type of talent show or whatever like that. But in the background, you see up top some masked figure just standing there, and then he just leaves. So are we assuming the real Chestnut man is still wandering around? Did the police get the wrong person for killing Laura? Or killing Christine? Like, what's the deal? A lot of unanswered questions. We will figure it all out watching all 6 episodes. Get it poppin', the Chestnut Man.